Hello, and welcome to part 3 of IPsoft's IPRF solution. In this part of the demo, we will discuss the dashboard view. IPsoft's IPRF dashboard is a strategic and analytical tool that not only gives you the fraud statistics in your network, but also gives you in-depth actionable insights to remediate and help you avert premium rate fraud. Executive View gives you a quick overview of the overall fraud snapshot in your global network and acts as a decision support system for management. It displays high-level network fraud trends and provides inputs necessary to drive your business. NOC, or the fraud team, can go directly to Alert View since it allows them to drill down to deep-level details for troubleshooting the alerts, and within a few minutes, they will be equipped to proactively stop the fraud. My View is your personal dashboard. You can customize the dashboard with the destinations that you are interested in or the customers and display any information that is relevant to your daily routine. Let's go to the Executive View, which gives you a snapshot of fraud trends in your global network. The data here is real data and has been mangled to protect the identity of our customer. This data is for 2 months. You can retrieve data for any time intervals specified here. Or you can use the date widget to specify any date between the last 2 quarters. This carrier had a total of 3.5 million fraud minutes in 2 months. This totals up to $519,000 for 2 months. $519,000 for 2 months. Wow. Now that's a lot of dollars lost to fraud. Total fraudulent calls are 641,000 calls. These dollar amounts are based on standard market sheet. Your rates may be different. This wholesale carrier, before deploying IPsoft solution, had a fraud solution for IPRF which had an accuracy of about 40%. They had a dedicated group of fraud analysts working full-time to manually set thresholds and rules, detect fraud, troubleshoot, and remediate IPRF fraud. You'll see how much fraud that still went undetected and how much dollars were lost to fraud. So let's take a look at details now. This world map on the left gives you a snapshot of IPRF in your global network. The legend tells you the fraud distribution for each color gradient used. These countries are the destinations to which you route traffic to. For 2 months, you can clearly see that the premium destinations in Africa are the worst hit fraud destinations. Destinations like Guinea, Gambia, Montenegro, Nigeria seems to be the worst fraud destinations. You can also see fraud minutes for each country if you hover over the country. In this view, you know your worst hit destinations for the 2 months. Do you want to know what segment of customers are affected most by fraud? How are premium customers doing? They are the most profitable customers and you do not want to have fraud occurring in their traffic. This pie chart on the right gives you the distribution of these 3.5 million minutes by service level. The total fraud was 1.3 million minutes for the gold customers and 969,000 fraud minutes for your platinum customers. Both put together corresponds to $330,000 lost depending on your current rates for this destination, which means 65% of your premium customers, gold and platinum, will either pay for this fraudulent charges or you, the carrier, will have to pay up since you do not want your premium customers to pay for fraudulent calls. Moving on, you want to see your worst affected customers in the last 2 months. You can see right here on the bottom left. Here are your worst 5 customers most affected by fraud for the 2 months. You can also view the worst fraud destinations for the quarter. You want to see the weekly distribution of fraud originated from these 5 customers. It is right here. You can filter each of the customers to view the fraud distribution. For this customer, you can see the week of April 8th and April 29th are the worst with over 200,000 minutes. In general, the week of 29th has been the worst in terms of fraud. This was a brief overview of fraud in your global network. In the next part, we will talk about My View.